Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malice. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. It's a Friday morning, and today we're talking about African American History Month. It is the month of February. We'll be talking black cultural issues, including the African American Cultural Museum. There's a benefit dinner tomorrow night. We'll take your phone calls too, 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment. Well, here we go, my friends. It is Friday here on the showroom floor, and you know, I got to say that this program today is sponsored by Turf Medics. His name is Lorenzo Neal. He's part owner of that company. It's a great company, and by the way, you know he played football for the Bulldogs, and he played in the NFL, played in the Super Bowl one year. So we're proud to say that Lorenzo and Turf Medics are sponsors here today on Connect with Me. And as usual, my friends, you're watching us on Comcast, channel 187, 43.6, 13.1. Hey, later today, you'll be able to catch us on YouTube. That's at 2 o'clock, 13.6, and then 8 o'clock tonight on 4.6 Biz TV. And then later on, I mean, I'm sure you've checked us out on the internet. We have our own YouTube channel, and it stays there forever until the end of time. Follow me on Twitter. Just got on there. By the way, it's at John Malos, Me TV. Now to the Prop 218 protest votes. I want to talk a little bit about this because our buddy Mark Standriff was at the meeting last night. In fact, he was a live guest on Channel 47. He won't come on this program, though. I don't know why, but you can reach him if you want to at 621-8000. That's at City Hall. Mark is a tough guy to get a hold of. I want to get the mayor on here. He promised us he would try to get the mayor. He promised us he would try to get Tommy Escueda, and have not heard back. So the recording, I guess, I don't know if that recording's any good or not. I'm going to have to call that later today. 621-8618. You can get some information. I do want to put the mailers up. Here's what they talked about last night at City Hall. It's these mailers. I want to leave these mailers up here for a minute because I want to explain what happened. Basically, the Prop 218 protest vote failed at City Hall last night because they only received 41,267 votes. That fell about 25,000 of those votes short of the 66,674 that they needed to overturn Mayor Ashley Swearingen's water infrastructure plan. That's exactly right. You want to see that plan? Here it is. It's $429 million worth. Year number 5, you'll be paying triple in rates. They talked about it. By the way, the City Council is going to take a vote on this on February the 26th. But by year 5, your water rates will triple. Now, you could get on a financial assistance program. They talked a little bit about that at the meeting last night as well. So if you're in the low-income bracket, you could get a special rate. That's what everybody was worried about, those people on fixed incomes and those people on low incomes. Would they be able to afford this? I mean, I know they want to improve the infrastructure and all that, but we've talked with Doug Begum before. He'll be a guest on this program once again. All right, my friends, the main focus of this program today, February is African American History Month, and we want to celebrate that along with everyone else around the country, of course, on this program. First and foremost, we'll talk about race relations. Let me take you to a full-screen graphic. I want to show you. That's right. That is not the newspaper. We've got to go to the newspaper first. The one publication that tackles those issues on a regular basis is the California Advocate right here in the Central Valley. Co-founded by Les Kimber in 1967, who tackled issues like race relations, police relations, education, and minority representation. Now we'll go to Kimber. Kimber not only was the full-time publisher of The Advocate, but he was a one-time city council member and was the first African-American criminal investigator for the Fresno County Public Defender's Office. Kimber, who was an icon in the black community here in the Central Valley, sadly passed away last month. Nonetheless, inside the offices of the California Advocate, his son Mark keeps the legacy going and the message alive by giving African Americans a huge voice right here in the Valley. And in last month's issue, the paper honored Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and its founder, Les Kimber. Live in our studio right now is Mark Kimber, the publisher, and has now been for many years, of the California Advocate. We're going to talk race relations, my friends, and try to tackle other issues right here on this program today on Connect with Me. By the way, I do want to mention the question of the day. You can call in, ask our guest some questions here, Mark Kimber. But the question of the day is, do you think race relations in the U.S. have improved or digressed? What's your answer, and what are your comments? What are your thoughts? 436 Me TV, option 11. Today's program sponsored by Turf Medics and our friend Lorenzo Neal. Back in a moment.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
Turf Medics, our sponsor here today on Connect with Me, and our thanks again to Lorenzo Neal. Time to welcome in Les Kimber, the publisher of the California Advocate. Good to see you, sir.
It's good seeing you.
How are you?
Good, good.
Looking sharp
good.
there as usual.
Thank you, thank you.
And so, you know, I want to put that picture back up of your father.
Sure.
And I do want to offer my official condolences from not only from myself, but for everybody here at Ventura TV and connected with this program.
Absolutely.
He was an icon in this valley. And talk a little bit about your father as we look at his picture up there.
Yeah. Well, he's being known and has been called the Martin Luther King of Fresno, of the Valley, and he's one of the largest civil rights leaders, or one of the largest civil rights leaders in the state of California. Statewide issues he's worked on, not only here in Fresno, but statewide issues also. And the things he's accomplished, the things he put forward when he was on city council, even before he was on city council, some of the like district elections for the city council, that was a Les's push. And we wouldn't have city council district elections today without that push from Les and his group.
So it was him, Les Kimber, the one who pushed for these district elections.
Because the argument was West Fresno was being represented by someone living in another part of town. So West Fresno, which was mainly minority at that time, never had the right representation of, from their own community.
So thanks to Les, we got District 1, District 2.
Exactly.
You got to live in that district.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things. Yeah. See, that's a major thing. Yeah.
I learned something today.
Yeah. And there's other things, too. There's many things. And in this month's Advocate, or Black History issue, we'll be publishing a special section on him and listing all those accomplishments. So if people want to, read about his accomplishments and all of that, pick up this month's Advocate, which will be out on the 20th. Of February. It's our Black History issue. Yeah.
All right.
Which will be
pick it up where? Give your office address, if you would.
Sure. It's 1555 E Street, Fresno, California, 93706. And we're actually right across the street from the Fresno Bee.
Great.
If you know where the Fresno Bee, right? We're right.
Sure do.
Right, okay,
I sure do. Right. And I want to hold this up. This is a picture of the Advocate right here.
Martin Luther King issue.
Yeah, the Martin Luther King issue. But as you can see below the fold there, you got a picture of your father and a little spiel on him.
Now, that was my father's last speech in the previous year at the Martin Luther King March. So we reprinted his last speech that he ever gave in public Yeah.
And this was him. This is the Les Kimber I remember.
Yes.
The younger guy.
Absolutely.
And when he was in good health. And again, my condolences. But I do want to take you back just last month at the funeral. It was a beautiful service.
Absolutely.
This video that you're about to see is courtesy of the Fresno Bee and the service inside the churches of Les Kimber. Let's roll it, take it, and listen.
Les Kimber was the chairman of the West Fresno Christian Academy Board, but he did everything all the time to show love toward people, all the people in the community. He loved them. And all the despised and discouraged, he always made it possible for them to have hope. And that's why the song, he lived love. He didn't just talk about it. He was actually love. So God bless you. Thank you.
Beautiful lady, a friend of your father's, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, longtime friend of the family. Yeah.
Yeah. She sang beautifully there. And
Yeah,
what church was that, Mark?
St. Rest Baptist Church. Yeah.
Okay, here in Fresno.
Here in Fresno, yeah.
Yeah.
My father was a deacon at the church.
Oh.
Yeah. For many years.
Yeah. A lot of dignitaries showed up, and that showed a lot of respect for your father and what kind of an icon he was.
Absolutely.
I do want to talk about the Advocate just a little bit, because he founded that back in 1967. I don't want to hold this up again. I want to grab this paper here. 1967, but you took full control of the paper how many
roughly
years ago?
18 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, when I got back from Howard University, about that time. Yeah.
What are the trials and tribulations and uphill struggles in publishing a paper like this?
Wow. The publishing industry has gone through many changes in the last few years.
Yeah.
But the many challenges even before that were we'd have times when printers wouldn't print our paper because they didn't like the headline.
What?
Like if we were, talking about police discrimination and that kind of thing, some printers wouldn't print our paper. But that was back in the day. That was stuff Les had to deal with.
Wow.
And just amazing stories that the Advocate has gone through just to survive, But that speaks to the community. Without the community support, the Advocate wouldn't have survived, And that speaks to how supportive the community is with the paper. The fact the paper is here is all about community support.
The fact the paper is here and has survived since 1967 is amazing. Is it flourishing now?
Yeah, we're doing good. Like the past few years has been like every newspaper has gone through.
Like the Bee and everybody else.
With the social media, that kind of thing.
Right.
But there's a lot of things you can't even get on social media locally that you have to pick the paper up to get.
Right.
So that's
time to take a break. We're talking with Mark Kimber, the son of Les Kimber, and your phone calls are important. 436-ME-TV option 11. We're talking about African American History Month here. We're going to talk more with Mark and his newspaper, The Advocate. You can pick up a copy of this. What is it? Twice a month?
Yes.
Twice a month, across the street from the Fresno Bee. Back with your phone calls. Hey, today's program sponsored by Turf Medics.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
Oh my gosh. You know, I knew I was going to make the mistake once, twice, maybe 3 times, maybe throughout the entire show. Maybe I should just call you Les throughout the entire show.
Right.
Because you are Mark.
It happens a lot of times.
I
Because
know,
me and
I
my
know.
dad were so close. And,
But
you know, when I was 5 years old, he was taking me to meetings, NAACP meetings, blah, 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 all of that.
They call you Les.
So they call me Les Jr. anyway. So, yeah, you're fine.
well, consider it an honor.
I do.
Oh
I
my
do.
gosh!
Absolutely.
Yeah, your father was a giant. There's no question about it. I want to put up a picture of the one and only, and there is only one. Before I do that, let's take a phone call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me with Mark Kimber. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, directly to Mark. I'm a Hispanic, you know, and I think sometimes we get the wrong idea about African Americans and all people, because sometimes we have this. I think we're still thinking about in the 60s and 70s, and it's hard for a lot of us or to walk down the street and at least say hi to an Asian or African American, all that. My question is to you, myself. I don't think things have changed all that much, you know, in maybe 20 years, because I still feel that we have that little negative thing, or some of us, not myself, but a lot of us feel that, you know, African Americans are in a different class, you know, and I don't mean because, you know, you're educated and all that, but I feel that we as a nation should be proud that we come together when there's a time of need, and what your dad did was what Martin Luther King did, you know. He had a dream. He had a dream in the community to help everybody. He loved everybody, and the thing is that I wish everyone was like that. But
Okay.
like the way society is, everybody can't be that way. And
Right.
I think, and I really love the program that John has, because we can express our feelings, you know, especially with your dad, you know.
Yeah.
I know you loved
Absolutely.
him, and you have him in your heart all the time. But we still, as a society, have not left the 70s and 80s behind, you know, because we still have that little hate there, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your call and your time. Want to respond?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's still, you know, a lot of, and that's where dialogue comes in, is getting past history and even recent history with different communities and conflicts and that kind of thing. And that's where, you know, the advocate is, we're trying to continue the effort to bridge the gap between cultures and, you know,
All right,
tell
let me
the
put up
story
the
for-
question of the day again then. And that question of the day is a very important one. We mentioned it in the monologue, but it might get some people to call in. Do you think race relations in the U.S. have improved or digressed? And as you kind of digest that question right there, let's put up a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King. There was only one, and unfortunately he was assassinated way back in 1968. There he is, the March on Washington. The question that we put up on the screen, have we digressed or have we improved?
Oh, we've absolutely improved. I mean, we've just elected our first black president for the second time.
But he's,
I mean,
he's
you can't-
heavily criticized, though, by the white establishment,
Right.
to
well,
a certain extent.
True. But we're not talking about the white establishment.
Okay.
We're talking about society.
Okay.
You know, we're not talking about Republicans. We're not talking about a certain, you know, phase of our community. We're talking about society. And for society in this country to elect an African-American president, you have to see that as improvement overall. You know, now from there, with the smaller battles that we face you know,
Daily.
like some of the recent police brutality stuff that we're
Yeah,
dealing
we'll
with
get into that, yeah.
nationwide, you know, in certain areas, not in every area. Like in Fresno, we've had a great relationship, you know, in our community. In other areas, been a great relationship. In Los Angeles has been doing an excellent job since they have revamped their whole police system.
What other areas do you think we've improved in besides electing a president who is African American?
Well, you know, I think we've improved in hiring. I think we've improved in also when it comes to banking in a financial institution. I think we improved quite a bit there when it comes to loaning money to African American startups, businesses, housing, that kind of thing.
Corporate America, hiring in corporate America?
Yeah, corporate America still has a way to go, though. But there's definitely been improvement. And I go ahead.
Have we digressed anywhere?
Good question. I think in certain areas we have. Certain areas of the country we definitely have. Politically, we've digressed when it comes to voting rights and that kind of thing in certain areas of the country. And of course, with the police brutality kind of issues we're dealing with.
Ferguson, New York.
New
we'll
York,
get into that.
We've digressed in a few pockets of our society. But overall, I think you can't help but say that we've done a good job in progressing.
I do want to take a break here, and we're going to talk about the movie Selma, Michael Brown, Darren Wilson, all that other stuff. Hey, let's put up the question of the day again before we go to break, because it is an important one. Do you think race relations in the U.S. have improved, or have they digressed to a certain extent? You can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. In fact, we got a call now. Might as well take the call now, and then we'll take the break in a few minutes. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Quickly.
Yes. In terms of the question that you have listed right now, have we progressed or digressed? You know, I think in terms of the legalities of it, in terms of laws passed, yes, we have progressed. But in terms of, as you want to say, a society as a whole, I think we pretty much have remained stagnant in the sense that, you know, you really don't see a lot of the minorities, blacks, Hispanics, so forth, in areas of political power. I think even when Mr. Kimber, when he was in the city council, we'll just talk about our local area here, in southwest Fresno, and how those impoverished areas of Fresno. I think Mr. Kimber, when he was there, he thought, I don't think he really got anywhere in terms of helping those areas out, or the area he represented. And even now, you see Oliver Baines, he's really not able to get any improvements in the area of southwest Fresno. So really, in terms of society, or in terms of Fresno, it's pretty much remained the same. And I say that in terms of a lot of the African Americans and so forth who live in the areas of southwest Fresno. You always hear them talking about, you know, how things are not really going on very well over there. You know, we don't have enough policing. There's a lot of gang violence and everything over there. So things are really not improved very much from the 60s on over to even now. But in terms of legal laws that have been put in place, of course, equality has been made available by law, but in terms of society accepting those laws or implementing those laws or accepting those laws, I really don't think that we have really gone very far at all.
Okay. All right, caller. Thank you.
Well, that's just not true. In some respects, it is. But as far as West Fresno goes, it was many improvements over there.
Really?
Yes, many improvements. A shopping center, number of improvements to parks and building up, like the Gaston Middle School is over there now. There's been a number of improvements in West Fresno. So that's just not true. And I would suggest he pick up the next California Advocate, will list those improvements. You know what I mean? So he sees that there already have been some. Now, he might not think, the caller might not think there have been enough, but there have been substantial improvements done over there, especially under when Les was on the city council. He had Karen Humphrey, and he had a number of councilmen who helped get these votes, get it done. You know what I mean?
All right.
But yeah.
Okay. Question of the day: do you think race relations have improved in this country over the course of time, or have we digressed? Hey, the phone number 436-MeTV option 11. Mark Kimber is our guest, and our program today sponsored by Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal. Back in a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law,
and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
Mr. President, in the South, there have been thousands of racially motivated murders.
We need your help, Dr. King. This thing's just gonna have to wait.
It cannot wait.
You got one big issue, I got 101.
Summer it is.
Here is the next great battle.
Selma's the place, and they ready.
Dr. King!
I tell you, that white boy can hit.
You will not tolerate agitators attempting to orchestrate a disturbance in this state.
It is unacceptable that they use their power to keep us voiceless. Those that have gone before us say no more.
People actually say they're gonna kill our children. They're trying to get inside of your head.
What happens when a man stands up, says enough is enough?
We built the path as we came, rock by rock.
This sail is probably bugged.
It probably is.
We must march. We must stand up.
You march those people into rural Alabama, it's gotta be open season.
May I have a word?
There's no word to be had.
The people. The people. The people. The people. The people.
There are 70 million people watching. These pictures are going around the world.
We must make a massive demonstration. White, black, and otherwise. Come to Selma.
I heard about the attack of innocent people. I couldn't just stand by.
Looks like an army out there.
This revolution goes on and on. This revolution goes on and on.
Mine eyes have seen the glory, 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 hallelujah. What happens when a man stands up, says enough is enough?
You think this is a must-see movie?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
For black and white?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially during this month, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe it ought to be required viewing in some of the schools, I would think, because it's part of our history.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a number of films that are good required viewing. Yeah.
Yeah. 436 MeTV option 11 talking with Mark Kimber. Let's get to before I do that, let me ask you how you think that march in Selma changed race relations.
Oh yeah, it absolutely changed the look of the civil rights movement by the entire country and by some white Americans that were sitting on the fence or not being compassionate to the movement, seeing what they went through and the brutality, the police brutality again, that they went through simply by doing a peaceful march. And not being allowed to peacefully march and being beaten, and women and children, and it definitely brought compassion to the movement.
Yeah, you and I were both alive, of course, during that time, and I vaguely remember it because we were small kids, and it was hard for us to comprehend what was going on. We didn't know what was going on, but I do remember the events. I just didn't know what they meant.
Right.
And you're probably in the same boat, I'm
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
You know, but we got a call here coming in. Okay, we do. Caller, you're on with Mark Kimber. Go ahead.
Yes. My name is Derek Robinson, and I say that there is improvement in race relations.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. A reminder to our viewers out there, we appreciate your phone calls. In fact, you ask better questions most of the time than I do, so call in at 436 MeTV option 11. But do remember, my friends, if you could please turn down the sound on your TV while you're on the telephone, because we'll get the feedback and we'll hear what's on your set. So if race relations have improved, why the continued tensions between blacks and whites in this country? Let's put up a picture of Michael Brown, shot and killed by Darren Wilson. Of course, there's Michael right there in Ferguson. Why the tensions between blacks and whites still, though, if there's been an improvement? I still feel this tension.
Yeah. Well, you know, you have to realize that we have just gotten past apartheid in this country. You know, apartheid in South Africa?
Of course.
That's what we had here. We had black and white water fountains.
It's not what it was called,
black
though.
and white. It was called segregation.
Yeah.
But it's only been, what, 45 years since we've been out of apartheid. I mean, or 50 years since we've been out of strict segregation here, you know? So you have to realize that it's going to take generations to get over some of these racial attitudes that still linger and persist in some areas.
What do you think of Darren Wilson? Give me your thoughts as we look at his picture here.
Being the, now he's the officer that...
shot Michael Brown.
Yeah, you know, what disturbed me was how the police department responded to what initially was peaceful marches and stuff by the community. And it really pointed to how that particular police department was not involved with the African American community there at all. I mean, it really pointed that out, you know. It was a us against them kind of thing from the beginning with that department. And so I think that's really what is still causing friction there.
Do you think that you need black police officers to black police?
Yes.
You
need Hispanic police officers
to police black neighborhoods?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Well, because we understand our community. You know, like the one thing about segregation was, when there was segregation, we had our own doctors, we had our own schools, we had our own lawyers, we had our own newspapers, we had our own blah, 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 we had our own accountants, we had our own, you know what I mean? So, and other than our communities clashing, you know, when we crossed each other's lines, there was no problems in the black community.
But would it make things
The marriage
better?
rate was up. You know, there was no problems with the born out of wedlock kind of stuff. No, none of those issues. So I don't know, really, as a younger generation, I don't know how well integration really helped our community rather than hindered it. Because what then happened was we became part of this, we were being able to be discriminated against once we did cross that line, cross those tracks.
So I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you in favor of segregation to a certain extent?
No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, to bring your point up, should there be black police officers in black communities? Yes, there should.
Because?
Absolutely. Well, because...
would it make things better?
I think in certain areas of this country it would make things much better.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Eric Garner. Some people say that the officer used a chokehold to kill him. Right. Other people say, no, it was a headlock. That's Eric Garner right there. We all know what happened in New York.
Well, we all saw the film.
We all saw the film, but I wasn't there. I don't know if that was a chokehold, a headlock, whatever it was. He died. Okay, that's Eric Garner.
Okay.
The officer who was responsible for that is right there. His name is Daniel Pantaleo. Give us your thoughts about what happened in this case, in your judgment.
Well, I mean, this was an issue that was brought up in Los Angeles years ago under Chief Bates, was it? With the chokehold they were using.
Yes.
That was killing African Americans.
Yes.
90% of the time more than white Americans.
Right.
So they were like, well, why does it kill black Americans more than... And Chief Bates came up with the idea that African Americans have a different neck or a different something. And that's why when a white police officer puts a black man in a headlock, he dies more than The white.
Maybe the windpipe is a little more narrow. I don't know.
That's what he was trying to say.
I don't know.
That there was something different.
Don't take my word for it, because I'm not a doctor.
Trust me.
I don't
no, there's no difference between me and you and our windpipes.
There can't be.
No,
we're both human.
That was Gates. No, not Bates. That was Gates. Trying to respond to why so many of his white officers were killing black men with the chokehold.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Exactly. But that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at why, and we all saw the video. I mean, those chokeholds are outlawed, and it was outlawed.
I don't remember that statement, but I find that hilarious.
Isn't it hilarious?
I know. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I was just listening to the gentleman there speaking about how blacks having their own barber shops and own accountants and so forth. And he came out sounding like like segregation was a pretty good thing. But of course, he said that he did not believe in it. But he was making it sound like it was that was a great thing to have. But in terms of policing, I think you need to have whites policing black areas alongside African American policemen, so that both can be educated in terms of
I agree.
Society and the people who live in those areas.
Yes.
I think you need
black officers and white
communities to teach African American police officers to teach their fellow Caucasian police officers about the society that a black person lives in, and as well as white people teaching blacks about the different ways that whites live. Because I'm sure there are fallacies on each side of the parameter.
All right, thank you, sir, for the comments. I do want to put up a picture of your father again, Les Kimber, and then I want to roll a videotape after that. But Les Kimber was a giant in this community. He rallied the troops. He had troops rally around him. He was a leader in the black community. He was an icon, as I said, and he was a mover and a shaker. But if he believed that there was injustice, he believed in peaceful negotiations. He was not a violent person, and he believed much of the same things that Martin Luther King, the same values that he had. Now let's switch over, come back to me, and we'll talk about Al Sharpton, a contrast in style. Let's roll a videotape on Al Sharpton, and let's listen to one of his speeches after the Eric Garner situation.
Don't make the kids or the adults that are protesting the one wrong. We are marching against wrong. We are standing against wrong. And here you now have a man choked to death on videotape and says 11 times, "I can't breathe." It is against the police department's guidelines to have a chokehold. It is against the law to have excessive force. But if you are choking a man who is down with other police helping and hovering over him, even if the guidelines don't kick in your mind, even if the law don't kick on your mind, after 11 times of "I can't breathe," when does your humanity kick in?
Many see him, Mark, as a divider, not a uniter. Your father was a uniter. Martin Luther King was a uniter. What do you think of Al Sharpton?
Well, many people saw my father as a divider, okay? When my father first started here, they said the same things about him. The same kind of rhetoric, the same kind of threats called at the house at night. That stuff I remember. The same type of threats to him, the same calling him a divider, not a uniter. Martin Luther King went through the same thing.
Right.
They called Martin Luther King in editorials. I mean,
but isn't there a contrast between your father, Martin Luther King, and Al Sharpton?
Well, no, I think that if that would have happened in Fresno, and Les Kimber was on the city council, he would have made that same speech.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because it's clear. I mean, what Sharpton said on that speech, I mean, you may not understand his way of saying it as an African American preacher, You know, they're very animated. You know, you know what I mean. But everything he said was true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caller, last call here for Mark Kimber. He's got to go, but what's your question, please?
Yes, three things. First is my sympathy for the family.
Thank you.
And the death of the father.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to hear that. Also, the first question would be, does political correctness create an artificial barrier to discuss in race relations? And the other question I have is just an observation. It seems as though Christianity is and still is a dominant faith of the African community. But do you see the prisons and others creating a militant Islamic, not society, but people who that get indoctrinated and then come back into the community, into the black community? That's my questions. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thanks for the condolences. Political correctness, I think, was the first issue that the gentleman brought up. I think I don't really understand the whole political correctness kind of argument. I think sometimes it's wise to be, quote, politically correct, but I do think sometimes it does hinder us from talking about race issues.
And being honest.
And being honest with each other, you know, because with race issues, there's no political correctness. You know what I mean? Me and you are friends. We can sit down and talk together. We can come on this show, talk about issues all day long. And we shouldn't hold our tongue. You know what I mean? If there's stuff we don't understand, we should say it to each other, get it out there, you know. And then that's where we come to understanding. Exactly. That's when we become better friends. You know, that's when we become brothers. You know?
I think the other question he addressed, maybe I misunderstood it. Was it black on black crime?
No, I think I misunderstood it too.
Okay, address that real quick before we go. Black on black crime, how do we solve that?
Well, how do we solve white on white crime?
How do we solve any crime?
Exactly. See, there's not really a black on black or a white on white crime.
You don't believe that?
98% of white folks are killed by other white folks. You're not calling that white on white crime.
No.
You're right. People are killed mostly by people that they know personally or in their communities. So I really don't see black on black or Hispanic on Hispanic or Asian on Asian.
Whatever the case may be, let's stop the killing.
Or let's stop the labeling. Let's stop the labeling.
Yeah.
Let's stop crime.
Stop crime, period.
Absolutely.
All right, Mark. Another call here before you go. You're on with Mark Kimber. Go ahead, caller.
Yes. I was curious about the water meter thing and how the vote's going to affect the black population and the low-income population of Fresno.
Outstanding question. Thank you,
That's
sir.
good. That's good.
Thank you.
You know, my thing on that is that because I know when my father was on the city council.
I wish your father was on the council now.
I know. But he took a lot of flack for pushing for water meters. And you know, he took a lot of flack for that.
So he's responsible for that.
Who else was on it? I think Karen Humphrey. I think. Oh my God! But his thing was in the African American community or in the lower minority community. You know, the lower income. Let's not say minority. Lower income communities. See, people in the suburbs had swimming pools and all this stuff, and they were paying the same thing in their water meter for a guy over here on Elm Street with a small house, and so Dad didn't think that was fair. Dad said water meters would at least, you know what I mean, balance out that, and you pay for what you use. You pay for what you use, and I would like to compare what we're paying here in Fresno to other cities of our same staff and see if the increases are fair or not.
And hopefully the city will make it affordable to those low-income and fixed-income people, much like PG&E does. Absolutely. It's like the PG&E low-income program.
And the mayor has been fair with those type of programs. You know what I mean?
Mark,
she has been fair.
You are going to come back
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
You are going to
yeah.
come back, right?
Absolutely.
On the program. We'll talk about the advocate
whenever
and
you
everything
want
else. I want you to be a regular on this program.
Absolutely.
Can
Quarterly,
you?
monthly, whatever.
Whatever you
Yeah,
do. We
sounds
can
good,
we can
brother.
talk about the issues that you have in the paper. And
Absolutely.
And I appreciate your time. And again, our condolences here to your you and your family.
Thank you for your
on
help.
the loss of your father.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you.
All right. We're going to continue here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Hey, our question of the day, just real quick. Have race relations in the U.S. improved or have they digressed? And the other thing I want to mention here before I go to break, you can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. Many of you already know what's going on with NBC nightly news anchor Brian Williams making some of these, and admittedly so, making some of these false claims. What happened to him while covering the Iraq War in 2003, saying he was shot down in a Chinook helicopter, turns out not to be true. On Monday, we'll have Dennis Hart here talking about the Brian Williams incident. Should he resign from NBC? Is he being pressured by the former nightly news anchor Tom Brokaw? We'll talk about that. Today's program sponsored by Turf Medics and Lorenzo Neal.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring. That's right. Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
Yellow finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, oh, good right, left. He's coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in server centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye. Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner!
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. MeTV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program, another reminder, Dennis Hart will be here on Monday to talk about this Brian Williams. I guess it's a controversy right now. Should he resign? Should he stay with NBC? Tom Brokaw may be weighing in, according to the New York Post. about some false allegations that he made about himself and what he was involved with in Iraq back in 2003. We'll talk about that on Monday. Let's put up our question of the day here, because we're going to continue our conversation about race relations. And do you think race relations in the U.S. have improved or digressed? 436-MeTV option 11. Do you want to mention Turf Medics? Lorenzo Neal has been our sponsor here today, so call in. Hey, our next guest here is Gregory Melancon. He is the curator of the African American Cultural Museum right here in the city of Fresno. And tomorrow night, there is a benefit dinner to help with some of the proceeds for the museum. And Gregory is here now. Good to see you, sir. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Good to see. I know it's a little late to say Happy New Year, but we're still early in the New Year. So tell us quickly about the fundraiser, what's going on, and where does it take place?
It's at the Golden Palace here in Fresno tomorrow night, and it's our yearly Trailblazer event. And it's an event where we honor African Americans who have trailblazed in their fields, in their careers during their life. And now that they're retired, we induct about 10 to 15 of them into the Museum Hall of Fame each year.
And we got some B-roll of the museum. Let's roll that now. We'll show some of the inside portions of the museum. Why is this museum important to the city of Fresno, and how does it help us learn about the African American culture?
Well, basically, it is a unique museum is that it houses the history of the local African Americans.
Okay.
You know, the people
I hope
that
Les
have,
Kimber's in there.
Oh, he's there in lots of different places. Yes, indeed. And
Yeah.
as we were speaking, that there's national African Americans that are historical, and we have local ones here that have been those same roles, like he was saying that Les Kimber was.
You a Lakers fan, by the way? I just saw a Lakers jersey. Are you a Lakers fan?
No, that is one of the auction items tomorrow night.
Okay.
That would be auctioned at the dinner.
See, I'm a Kings fan.
Okay.
And you know Shaquille O'Neal owns part of the Kings now. Do you know
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he owns a little small portion of the Kings. But anyway, oh well. You know, I was a Lakers fan a long time ago before the Kings moved to Sacramento. But this is part of the museum here, part of the history.
Yes.
Dr. Martin Luther King's wife there, Loretta King, right?
Those are magazines.
Yeah.
We have a we have a display
Beautiful.
of the Ebony magazine, which is the oldest black magazine that's on the market today.
Absolutely. And you can go in there and learn all about Les Kimber and all the other folks, the movers and shakers that have made a difference in the city and the Central Valley over the course of time, the African Americans who've made a difference.
Indeed, that's what it's about. And it also houses some of the first African Americans that came to the Fresno area in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So we have a few families in there that we highlight.
Again, where is the dinner? Say the name of the place,
It's
the
the
address.
Golden Palace Banquet Hall. I'm not sure. I think it's 2555 Vassar.
Okay. Is there a phone number that people can call, Gregory?
I don't have the phone number handy right now because the
Can they
number
call
just
you?
changed.
Can they call you?
They can actually call the museum.
Okay,
and
and that
they
number
should be
is?
able. That number is 559-352-1112.
Okay. And this takes place and starts at what time tomorrow night?
The no-host cocktails start around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Dinner is at 6, preceded by an award ceremony for the Trailblazers. And then there's a silent auction, and there's dancing afterwards.
You're auctioning off, of course, that Lakers jersey.
That
right
Lakers
there.
jersey was a donation. We're auctioning off that. We have lots of different items to auction off.
How much are tickets, Gregory?
Tickets are $100.
Okay.
$100 donation for the museum, and that money goes to operate the museum and keep it going from year to year.
Well, let's get out there and support that. I thank you for your time. Now, you're going to come back on the program, and we're going to take a tour of the museum at some later time in
Yes.
March.
Yes.
And we look forward to that, sir. And thank you for your time today. And good luck with your
Thank you.
fundraiser tomorrow. We certainly wish you the best, all of us here at Connect with Me.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Malcolm Melancon, the curator of the African American Cultural Museum right here in the city of Fresno, a benefit dinner tomorrow night. Back with another guest and another fundraiser here on Connect with Me, 436-MeTV option 11. Today's program sponsored by Turf Medics. Remember, Monday's program, Dennis Hart talking about Brian Williams.
As a pro athlete, I played on green grass my entire career and was stunned to find a product that could make my home look as good as the turf I've grown to love. Turf Medics is a revolutionary new turf coloring system designed to reduce watering and mowing. Call 1-888-936-0444 or visit the website at www.turfmedics.com to learn more about Turf Medics by Pro Turf, the real experts in real green grass.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The yellow finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Welcome to a new beginning. An adventure that goes well beyond passive diversions. Empowering through exploration. Engaging your passions. Inspiring with lives lived outdoors. Come with us. Untamed Sports TV.
You can find Untamed Sports on over-the-air channel 13.8.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD, 3D, web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program now, joining me is Stacy Ramirez, the mother of Janessa Ramirez. You remember the 9-year-old girl who was shot and killed by a stray bullet, and Jesus Salinas talking about a benefit tomorrow night that takes place at St. Helens Catholic Church. Welcome to the program. Our condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss. Jesus, talk about the program. We've only got about 2 minutes left.
It's a car show, benefit car show that we've organized. Our car club is Rockabilly Mafia Car Club. It came to our attention, the shooting hit us straight to the heart, so we wanted to do something to benefit the mother and the family of this child, Janessa Ramirez. And we went ahead and organized this car show. It's going to be tomorrow at St. Helens, 4888 East Belmont. And it's a Catholic church. Everybody's invited to attend.
What time?
Everybody can show up at about 9 in the morning, and it goes till 4 o'clock p.m. And
cost is
free.
Free. It's free. Okay.
It's free. We're going to have vendors out there, food, multiple car clubs. We have about 36 car clubs that are donating their time. The car clubs are coming out and donating $20 to the family to enter their cars.
Okay. Stacy, as we look at a picture of your daughter, I want to put that back up. I just want to break out in tears, and I don't even know what to say.
You know, she's in a better place.
Yeah.
She's away from all the violence.
You
know?
have forgiven those.
I have forgiven them from the bottom of my heart.
Why?
The grace of God. I'm a forgiving woman. You know, it hurts, but, you know, why hate? Because this is what causes hate, violence. So, you know, stop the violence and love someone. And I do forgive them, and I pray for them every night.
All right. The benefit tomorrow, again, St. Helens Catholic Church starts at 9 a.m. It's a benefit car show. It's free. Yes. And this is to raise money for...
I set up a trust fund for Janessa. It's called the Janessa Teddy Bear Memorial Fund at Bank of the West. Just, you know, thank you.
Okay, come back again.
I will. Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
All right. That's our show for today here on Connect With Me on MeTV Fresno. Make sure and get out there at St. Helens Catholic Church if you can. It's a good event. Anyway, we're back on Monday with Dennis Hart to talk about Brian Williams and what's going on in NBC with that situation. Our thanks to Turf Medics for being a sponsor, Lorenzo Neal, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed weekend. We'll see you back here live with Dennis Hart on Monday.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.